Hi, welcome to Back 40 Auto Works. My name is Jeremy Stanley. My friends call me Styles. Uh, if you've been following along the Buick build, I think if you have, um, we ended up with a bad cylinder in the first engine we tried to put in. So to make a long story short, we had to go get another engine. Our head went down in the old van in the pit. So this is a 2002 5.3 out of a Silverado, of course. This one was set up for drive-by-wire. But we're not going to go that way. I'm going to use the platinum off the other engine and go drive by cable, just for ease of operation. This one was flashed, however, and had a 4L60 behind it. We're putting the Turbo 350 that was in the Buick behind this one, and we're going to use as I said, the drive-by cable throttle body. And so we're going to have the computer for the old 2000 motor that I was going to use reflashed and used on this one. So as I had also mentioned in my last videos, I run into problems with the flywheel, so we have got a flywheel here. The one I got now is a 4L80 flywheel. I mentioned this in my last video as well. It's a flat one with a spacer. The only thing is we're going to have to re-drill the holes for the torque converter. The pattern for the torque converter is too big. The Turbo 350, it would have worked to tell me for Turbo 400, but that's fine. We can do that. Before we do that, I'm going to take the old one off here and use it for a pattern because they already did re-drill it. So it did fit the Turbo 350 torque converter. Anyway, we'll carry on. Alright, so I will line the old one up with the new one. Now I don't know if you can see that. There's a difference in how far off the holes are. So we're going to mark that and re-drill it. Okay, so as you can see, we got the holes in our flywheel marked. You can see the Sharpie there at the edge of the hole. That's how much these flywheels need to be adjusted. Mind you, I'm told I had been using a Turbo 400 as opposed to Turbo 350. These would be a direct bolt-on. Anyway, we'll get it at that. All right, as you can see now, the bolts for the torque converter and the bolts for the flex plate line up. Now I ended up having to take out quite a bit more than I thought I was going to have to. So it looks like you almost have to take the whole amount of the size of the hole again. It's quite small. The pattern of this torque converter is quite small. I did hear a rumor that there are actually two different sizes of bolt patterns for Turbo 350 torque converters. I'm thinking maybe that's true, and I got the smaller of the two of them. Anyway, that should work. On to the next phase here. So the bolts that I ended up getting for the flywheel ended up being too short. They're the same size as the factory bolts for the 5.3, for the flex plate, sorry. And what I really needed is the longer bolts to compensate for the spacer that you see. You can just see the spacer there on the flywheel for the 4L80E. I thought I had ordered the right ones, and when they ordered them for me at the local parts store here, they ended up not being right. It's nobody's fault, really. Just there was no description on the bolts to tell whether they're the right ones or not. So we have to order them anyway. I ordered them from Amazon here today, and hopefully I will have them in 3 or 4 days, and we can carry on. The only problem is, as far as a flex plate goes, I'm at a bit of a standstill. So again, waiting for parts. I did take a few minutes and put the motor mount plates on the new engine. The oil pan pickup tube and the windage tray that I cut down is all ready to go. So, I mean, I'll get the old engine, or the new engine here, off the floor, over there, onto the stand where the old engine is. I did put the old engine back together just so when I take it out of here, it won't be too hard to put it back in the van. And I won't get rid of it. We'll keep it around for parts. I will probably at some point tear it down and send it to be rebuilt, but that's not the time for that right now. And as far as the Buick, she's sitting there waiting for the new engine. So with any luck, we'll be bolting the transmission back to this here shortly, trying to put it back where it belongs. And unfortunately, it's taken me 4 or 5 videos to get back to where I started from. But that's what happens, using used parts. And as I said earlier, in the beginning of this, this kind of stuff happens. And I think people need to see that. So like I said a few minutes ago, we are at a standstill. I'm waiting on bolts. I could put the oil pan and gasket and everything back on the new motor, but I kind of like to do it all at once. Kind of gives me more momentum if I have more things to do. So again, hopefully in a few days, maybe a week, we'll be put the flywheel back in the engine and trying to fit the engine back in the car, transmission included, which will be nice. Something I thought I'd touch on. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, what's taking so long? They're just bolts. Can you not get that online? Well, yeah, but I'd like to try and shop local first. And I'm in a part of Canada where there's not a lot of stuff available. What I'm trying to do here is not terribly, different than what everybody else is doing in lots of other parts of the country here. LS swaps been around for quite a while, probably 15, 20 years now. But living where I do, there's just not parts availability for a lot of this kind of stuff. As time goes on, you'll see that vehicles I use for donors and stuff like that for my own projects are probably different than most of you would use, because there's just not the abundance of 20 and 30-year-old vehicles around for donors that there is in other places. So, yeah. So, worst part about living in Eastern Canada, you can't get parts. And that's not the fault of our parts stores or anything like that. It's just the nature of things. Things rust quicker. They don't last as long. They're gone. They're in the junkyard, crushed. Lots of these old classics end up being fenders for new Toyotas and Hyundais before too much longer. So, anyway, that's me and my project. And thanks everybody for tuning in. And please like and subscribe if you get the chance. Until next time, take her easy.